Let us begin our evening guided meditation with the sound symbol Om. Those who are attending here, let us try to repeat it in unison. We do it by taking a deep breath in and on the exhalation, repeating the sound symbol Om and thinking about its meaning. Let us now put ourselves in the presence of this Om that represents the sum totality of all beings. Let us feel how this Om represents eternal life, eternal light, eternal love. Let us feel that this presence is to be found all around the body, in every direction. Let us mentally bless each direction and the interspace between. All of the 10 directions. 10 directions means north, south, east, west, as well as the intermediate directions, as well as up and down. Think that you are surrounded by pure love. What does love mean? It means that there is a flow, a perpetual flow of giving, a pouring of grace and goodness within us, in every single part of the being. To emphasize this, we can join the tip of the forefinger and the thumb together. This particular mudra indicates our oneness and perfection. Feel that you are one. Let us fill the whole universe with values of strength, beauty, goodness, love, and harmony. Let us feel that we are physically one with all the energy in the universe, that we are mentally one with the cosmic mind of the universe. Make sure that the body is positioned correctly for a flow of concentration, a flow of thoughts in one direction. If you are seated on a chair, try to fold the ankles underneath, pushing the hips forward so that the back remains erect and the chest and the head and the neck are arranged in a straight line. Just gently close the eyes. Don't squeeze them closed. Allow them to remain fixed on a spot about 1 meter in front. Be conscious that you are relaxing the eyelids. Pause for a moment and feel peace and contentment as you sit. No thought necessarily entering the mind, simply feeling the eternal presence of oneness. Now let us withdraw the mind from all the senses. Let us withdraw the attention from the eyes and the ears, speech, skin, like lines being drawn to a central point deep within our own being. Let us consider that we are about to go on a journey from this point of poise. In this journey, we are taking no thought for our life. We don't have to take any provisions or worry what will we eat on the way, neither for the body or what we shall put on the body. For life is more than food. Body is more than clothing. We can consider how birds in the air fly, a feat that you and I cannot do with our physical bodies. But mentally, we can fly to any corner in the known universe and beyond, in all the heavens. But the birds, they don't plant any seeds. Seeds are there for them. They don't have any storehouse that they gather together or a barn for cereal food. The internal essence of them and all of this life feeds them. And if this divine element feeds these creatures, does it not provide for us? No matter how strenuous our efforts, we cannot even add half an inch to our stature. And so, with our fixed instrumentation, body, mind, we can embark on a journey. Life is a journey. It is only a temporary journey undertaken from our inner essence and round in a circle, back again. Let us consider how in this springtime flowers know how to grow. They don't take up an occupation of work. They don't apply for a job. And they don't spin their clothes or purchase them. And yet look how they are arrayed in glory. If then this divine element can clothe the grass, which is today in the field, and tomorrow can be dried and cast into an oven, so how much more will that entity clothe you unasked? And on this journey, let us not seek what shall we eat, what shall we drink. Let us not have a doubtful mind. For all these things, everybody seeks here and hereafter. But this divine intelligence knows in advance all your needs. And so, rather than ask for things in prayer this evening, why don't we seek this inner realm within, the realm of poise in the center of the heart, where reigns the monarch. And when we do this, all these other things, money, food, house, all these things that occupy our mind so much, will be added unto us. For it is that divine essence pleasure to give us this immortal kingdom within. How can we trust this entity when our mind is diverted year in, year out to these problems of human life? Everyone is struggling through no fault of their own. But the solution is in this journey. That we are taking no thought for our supply, whether it is money, food, clothing, or any other form. And the reason that we need have no anxiety about these things is that it is this divine internal essence, this flow of giving. It is its pleasure to give the kingdom that sits within us. And this glorious divinity. And that entity knows all these needs and all these things. But in order that we may enter completely into this inner spirit of confidence, we should understand that all the things that we want is really not a supply. It's the result, it's the effect of a supply. There is no such thing as a supply of money, clothes, homes, cars, food. And all these constitute just the effect or the result of supply. And if this infinite supply were not present within you, within me, within us, there would be, or there would never be, an addition. The added things are those practical things that are necessary at this stage of our physical existence. But none of these are supply. Let us imagine in front of us an orange tree which is laden with fruit. We know that the oranges don't constitute supply because when these have been eaten, or maybe gathered and sold or given away, a new crop starts at once to grow. The oranges are gone, but the supply remains because within that tree there is a law. And this is the law of the divine. This is the law of the beloved, who's sitting there within. It is the law of nature. The nature of the law we won't worry about, but the recognition of the presence of this law operating in, through, or as the tree, that's important. And that law operates to draw in through the roots, the minerals, substances, elements of air, water, sunshine, which it then transforms into sap. And that's drawn up through the trunk of the tree and distributed through the branches and finally sent into expression as blossoms. In due time, the same law transforms blossoms into a green marble that becomes the full-grown orange. This orange is the result or the effect of the operation of the law acting in, through, and as the orange tree. And as long as this law is present, we will have oranges. The orange of itself cannot produce another orange. So we can understand that the law is the supply and the fruit are the results of this law. Now think that within you there is also a law in operation, a law of life. Let us be aware of the presence of this law as our supply. And all the necessities for our journey, for our daily living, are the effects of the consciousness of the activity of this law within. So we can take the thought of the things of the outer world and abide in the consciousness of the law. And what is the law which is our supply? It is the universal, divine consciousness. It is your individual consciousness. That is the law. This law is your consciousness. And so your consciousness becomes the law of supply for you, producing its own image and likeness in the form of the things necessary for your well-being. And there is no limitation to your consciousness. There is no limit to your conscious awareness of the action of the law. And so there is no limit to your supply in all its forms. So let us sink down and identify with this divine universal consciousness. It is pure spirit. And the activity of this law is within you and is pure spirit. And your supply in all forms for your journey is spiritual, infinite, ever present. What we behold as all these manifestations of money and food and clothing and cars and homes represents our concepts of these ideas. And our concepts are as infinite as our mind. So now we can see that just as we need to take no thought for oranges as long as we have the source of supply which is continuously producing fruit for us, in the same way, we no longer need or we no longer take thought about these things. We can let go. We can release. We can learn to think of these things as we think of leaves on trees or oranges, as the natural, inevitable result of the law that is active within. Let us learn to view all the various adventures and items and objects on our journey as the proof of the presence of the divine love you feel within you now. The divine love for that one's creation, the one that is within all the flying birds, and see how all these creatures confidently trust this law. So let us rejoice when we see in our mind's eye flowers in spring and summer, because wherever you look, you can see the flow of the divine presence. Sit and feel it now, emanating from within. Enjoy and learn to enjoy the beauties and bounties of nature as body, mind, and all the objects, with no desire to hoard any of them, no fear that there's less than an infinite supply of them, so that we learn to enjoy the fruits of our infinite supply, the results of that infinite storehouse within us. Let us feel this infinite supply and supplier in the depths of our being. Let us sink down into oneness with it. Let us assert our nature as this very self. Let us perpetually remember our true identity, pure spirit, the law of life. We are infinite, individual spiritual consciousness, embodying within ourselves the infinity of good. We are at the center, the point of divine consciousness. If we wish, we can feed 5,000 people every day, not by using a bank account, but by using the infinity of the good that you feel within you, pouring through body and mind, the same as it is poured through Ram Krishna, Jesus, Buddha. Let us dispel the superstition of our separation between us and this divine. Let us assert that we are one with this, that this is ours, that the place on which we sit in this meditation is holy ground. Let us assert that we are pure love, pure consciousness, that we are infinite, that we are existence pure. Let us feel this oneness of our being. And let us feel how this manifests in the form that we are easily able, intimately to dialogue with, centered in our very heart, with the full royal trappings of throne and flowers. Let us feel divine grace pouring in us, through us, and beyond us. Let this short meditation be a blessing to all those forms around us, people, places, events. Let us consider that this life is this journey, and our starting point is our ending point. Until we realize we never went anywhere, we are that undivided one. We finish off again with the chanting that we started. Om